Good afternoon, good afternoon. Just a little housekeeping. We're gonna need everybody to mute their mics so that we can hear each other. Can I have you now? Can you hear me? Good, good. Good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the Virgin Islands Council on the Arts. You can see me? Welcome to the Virgin Islands Council on the Arts annual House to Apply workshop. My apologies, we have a little technical difficulty here. I think we're, is that better? No, can't see me at all? I think it's my boobies. Okay, is that better? Okay. Yeah, I am the executive director at VICA Couch, and I have my staff with me, Ms. Jaria Lynch, Shanaz Alamin, and our team member on St. Croix, Kendall Henry. Today, we're going to be going over the process, the grant process for the Virgin Islands Council on the Arts How to Apply workshop. The workshop, we are going to have another workshop in August. So if you need to see it again, or if you know somebody that missed it, you can let them know that we'll be back on live and on Zoom in August. Some general information, the Virgin Islands Council on the Arts. The council is the primary funding agency for the arts in the Virgin Islands. We receive funding from the National Endowment for the Arts, and the funds are distributed among the 3 islands. We have 2 application deadlines, August 31st, which is our annual grant. January 31st is our mini grant, as well as our technical assistance grants. General eligibility. Your projects must be based in the Virgin Islands. You must be in existence and active if you're an organization for at least 2 years at the time of application. Must be a nonprofit organization with current nonprofit status, registered with the Office of the Lieutenant Governor. Verification of agency's nonprofit status must be submitted in writing. You must have your tax exempt identification number. You must also have an active DUNS number and an active registration on sam.gov. That is very, very, very important. If you do not have those two sets of things, the DUN number and the sam.gov registration, even if you get approved and you don't have those documents, you will not be able to get your funding. Applicants must submit a W-9 form with their application package, and project must take place between November 1st and July 30th of the following year. Applications are only available on our website. You can, once you go on the Council on the Arts website, you click on the little icon, and it takes you to the application site where you will register and then complete your application. Once you register the first time, if you're a new applicant, you can keep that same registration information to continue to reapply every year. And your application narrative should clearly outline how VICA funds will be used and have it correspond with the budget. Program categories, we support general operating, project support, arts and education, arts and underserved, technical assistance, and mini grants. For organizations, you need to submit job descriptions, resumes, and other pertinent information on our personnel participating in the project. So anybody that is going to be directly working with the VICA project, we need to have those persons' documents submitted with your application. We also need a list of your organization board members and staff, financial statement and/or annual report for your fiscal year, if applicable, articles of incorporation and bylaws, your IRS letters of tax exemption, and list of activities with dates and locations for scheduling site visits. Any questions so far?
I have a question. This is Shalita Schuster from Music in Motion. If you, right, hi. Because I don't want to go any further if this is not, so I just want to be honest. Music in Motion does not have a 501(c)(3), and we've been working with the St. Croix Foundation. And so the St. Croix Foundation for many years has been our fiduciary. Are you accepting that or not?
Yes, we are. You can apply through a fiduciary.
So if we're under the fiduciary with St. Croix Foundation, do we still need all of these extra documents that you're asking for and their documents as well?
We need the documents for your organization, and then you would indicate that If St. Croix Foundation, which I sure they do have a DUNS number, and
Yes.
they're registered with sam.gov, then you can do it through them as their fiduciary, but we still would need whatever information is pertinent to your organization. So whoever is working on the project directly with you, we would need their information and that kind of stuff.
Okay, thank you. I needed to know that. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so moving on to, for individual to apply, they must be a resident and active in the Virgin Islands for a minimum of 2 years at the time of application. They also need to submit whatever documents pertaining their resume, their artistic resume, all pertinent information on any personnel that's going to be assisting them or not in their, on the project. If the project is to take place in or on a school campus, we will definitely need a letter of endorsement from the school principal. That definitely must be included in the grant application. Even if it's just to use the school facility, we need to know that, that you have contacted the school and you've gotten permission from them to utilize the campus or to participate with their kids. And for both individuals and organizations, if you've applied previously before, your final report has to have been submitted by the deadline for you to be eligible to apply in the grant. Okay. Matching funds. VICA's grant is a one-to-one match grant. So all grants must be matched with a combination of cash and in-kind services. In-kind services may be a percentage of space rental, loan equipment, a contribution of services, contribution of materials, and in-kind services must be based on fair market value and have direct value to the project. So if you're applying for $5,000, you should have at least $5,000 worth of cash and in-kind. It does not have to be all cash and it does not have to be all in-kind, but it needs to be a mixture of both. So for example, if you have somebody that's writing your grant or doing your accounting, and they're doing it for free, and you would ordinarily have to pay somebody, you can use that person's assistance as your in-kind match. Or if you have a building and you're getting the building for free, you can use that as in-kind match. So basically anything that you get for free that would ordinarily have a dollar amount to it, you would get it, you can use that as your in-kind match towards your project.
A question again. So this is Shalita again. So if you're getting donations of any sort, let's say Teddy's Party Place, and they're donating tablecloths to you, you can consider that as in-kind service or what?
Yeah, once it's directly related to the project, you definitely can consider donations, free services. You can, and it's for the project that you applied for. You can utilize that as your in-kind.
Okay.
VICA does not fund organizations without nonprofit status, completed projects, or those in progress. Grantees who have not submitted final reports from previous grants, building renovations or capital expenditures, bad debts, entertainment costs, fines and penalties, scholarships, legal fees, instruments and equipment with a lifespan to exceed 1 year, individual after school tuition or full year tuition. And that's different from summer intensive. So if you need to go, take a summer intensive class in whatever discipline, VICA can fund that, but we cannot fund full tuition to a professional organization for the school year or after school tuition.
I understand.
Review criteria. So VICA's board, once all the grants are submitted, VICA's board receives all the documentation, and they review the grants based on artistic merit and integrity, quality of project, professional nature and stability of organization and individual, ability to carry out the project for which funds are being requested, and the applicant's ability to match the funds. Demonstration of sound management, financial planning, and appropriate allocation of funding, community interest in or demonstrated need for the program, demonstration of accessibility, completeness and clarity of application package, and other criteria deemed important by the board. Writing a good narrative. Do we have any questions? No? Okay. So moving on. Your narrative is 50% of your application. Let's go to the next slide. And we need your narratives to be as detailed and as concise as possible. The board needs to know what is the project or program for which you're asking the money for. What specifically will the funds be used for? Will you be able to implement your project if VICA does not fund it 100%? Will the project continue after funding is utilized? And what impact do you see your project having on your community? Every time we do these workshops, I say the same thing. Leave the fluff out of your narrative. We really just need the meat and potatoes. We need to know what you want the money for, how you're going to spend the money, and who you're going to use to get this project done. We should not have any unanswered questions once we read your narrative. So that 10 times out of 10, somebody that does not get awarded, it's because we really couldn't understand from the narrative what it is that they were trying to do. So really take some time to flush out your narrative and to make it really understandable, and read it over, have somebody else read it over. If they can't get the question answered based on reading your narrative, then you need to go back over and really put some time into your narrative. The final report package. With the final report is a component that sometimes our grantees tend to forget once they've been awarded. To continue getting funding from VICA, we need your final report, and it's due August 1st of every grant cycle. The final report gives us information that we in turn have to report to the federal government. So we need either canceled checks or receipts, invoices, photographs, program posters, advertisements, or any other proof that the project took place. And as many things that you can give us to prove that you did the project, it was successful, so that we want to brag on our grantees, and we need you to assist us, and we can't do that unless we get information from you guys. So the final report isn't just about, well, a large part of it is, making sure that the money was spent on what it said it was going to be spent on, but also we want to see successful projects that we, can say, this is what the Virgin Islands is doing. This is all the talents and excellence that we have in the Virgin Islands. And when we submit these final reports to the NEA and they see something that they find is interesting, then they in turn, put it on a national stage, and the Virgin Islands gets some attention, which is always great. So all this information that I just gave everyone, it may seem very overwhelming, and I know I talk really fast, and you may not want to ask questions on this forum, but you feel free to go on our website. All this information is on our website in our grant application tab. You can also give our offices a call. St. Thomas's number is 774-5984, and St. Croix's office is 773-3 3075. Ms. Lynch is now going to take you guys through the actual application. So pay real close attention. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to stop her so that she can explain it. I need you guys to really pay attention to the budget part of the application, because that is the other 50% matched with the narrative. I think once you have a complete detailed narrative and a concise budget, your grant is definitely fundable.
Can you guys see? Hi, good afternoon. I'm Jaria Lynch. I am the, okay, one second. Okay, I am the special project coordinator. Okay, can everybody hear me pretty good? Okay, I am Jaria Lynch. I am the Special Projects Coordinator at the VI Council on the Arts. I'm going to take you guys through the application portion. I'm going to share my screen with you. Can you see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Okay, so this is how we get to the application. We go on VI Council on the Arts. VI Council on the Arts, vicouncilonorts.org. Once you get on our website, there's a section is called Grant Programs and Services. You click on Grant Application. So if you ever lose the link, you can always go back to our site and you can find it here. Click on Grant Application, and it says to complete now. Okay, so if you do have an account, you can just log in. If you don't have an account, you can just register. And these are the application. This is just some information here. The application deadlines, we have January 31st, the mini grant and technical assistance grants, and of course, August 31st, the annual grants. A lot of the information is online. You have the grant guidelines, you have the how to apply information, you have the DUNS number information, and then you have the funding categories. I'm gonna just go through these really quickly. These are the different type of funding categories. You have general operating support, project support, arts and education, arts and underserved, and then these are due in January, technical assistance and mini grants. So it gives the information like what the director went through, an organization, you must be in existence and active, individual artists, VICA does not fund, all the information is there as well. The DUNS number, this is a step-by-step guide on how to get your DUNS number. So all the information that we're saying today is online. So I'm going to go ahead and register an account. I'm going to create an account for this purpose. I'm going to register as an individual. So I'm going to use my name, my information. So you do have to create a password for this system. Okay, so I'm trying to create a password that matches all of these things. It has to be 8 characters. Okay, so I've successfully registered for a SurveyMonkey apply account. So continue to site. And you see there's a note at the tab, your email address has not been verified. So once you register for an account, you need to go back in and check your email address. So I'm gonna go into my email address. And they sent me an email. So it says, in order to validate your SurveyMonkey apply account will require you to verify your email address. You simply just click on the tab confirm email address. Okay, so once you get into the site, you've created an application. You click on programs and it shows you the programs that we have available now, which is the annual grant. I click on it, but you have to complete an eligibility form. So it says check eligibility. It's asking me, are you applying as an individual or an organization? I did an individual account. Do you have an active DUNS number registered on SAM? If you click no to any of these questions, it will not let you through because you're not eligible. So answer them truthfully. I do have a DUNS. Are you active in a VI for a minimum of 2 years? Yes. And have you submitted a final report if previously funded by VICA? If you have never received funds from us, then you click NA. And then you save your profile. Okay, so I am eligible to apply for this program. Okay, so these are the steps that I need to complete the application form. I need to upload my supporting documents and I need to complete a W-9 form. So I'm going to start with the application form. I'm going to just go through it really quickly. I'm applying as an individual. My name, my email address, the island, the zip code, the contact person, the title, and your contact person address, if different from above, mine is not. Your phone number, your email address, your applicant status. Are you applying as an individual, a nonprofit, organization, a government agency, or none of the above? I'm going to do an individual. Your tax ID or social security number. If you're applying as an individual, just put in your social. And then your DUNS number. So I attached a link here. It links you back to our website if you have trouble finding your DUNS number or where you can get a DUNS number. It leads you back to the site with all the information. If you do not complete any of these, you will not be able to go on to the next step. The title of your project. Okay. So the title of my project is Dance Class. Okay, so this is the narrative that the director was talking about. So in this narrative, you put, you know, what exactly are you requesting the funding for? How many people are involved? All that information goes into your narrative right here. Like example would be, you know, I am Jaria Lynch. I own the dance company of the VI. Interested in applying for a summer intensive. You know, all that information goes here. And then your amount of requests. Individuals are awarded up to $5,000. If you go over the $5,000, it will not let you go through. It's gonna give you an error message. Any questions?
Hi.
Did someone say something? Okay, no. So it shows me, I tried to go along to the next step. It gave me an error message. So I forgot to put in my physical address. I'm gonna put that in really quick. Okay, so it takes us to the next page. This is the categories. It asks basically, what are you applying for? Are you applying for general operating support, project support, arts and education, or arts and underserved communities? General support is the only category that is specifically for organizations. So since I'm applying for a project, I can select project support, arts and education, or arts and underserved communities. I will select project support since I'm asking for assistance with, you know, art program. Applicant institution, I'm an individual artist. You know, you can select whichever one pertains to you. The discipline, it's a dance, a summer dance intensive. So I'll select dance, and then a specific date. You just put in whatever date your project takes place, the start time and the end time. And the location of your project. Where will your project take place, the address. Okay, and this is just that demographic information that we use to report back to the NEA. There's actually no right or wrong answer. How many adults are involved in your project? How many youth are involved? The number of artists directly involved in providing artistic services. The population benefited by race, I'll put African American. Population benefited by age. The art discipline, I'll select dance. This is the accessibility checklist. So this is really important. Federally funded projects must be accessible to people with disabilities. So you have to include, you have to have your location, it has to be able to serve people with disabilities. So if you put 0 to any of these, you may not get funded. So this is very important. I'm gonna put 5. And you could include any one of these. This is more demographic information as well. Your project descriptors, is it a touring project, a youth at risk, a technology project? I'm gonna say like youth at risk. Select which best describes your staff, board, or membership. Your project race. And then we get to the actual grant, the budget form. Break down exactly what you're asking for. So I'm gonna make mine pretty simple. I'm asking for 5,000 for space rental. And this, you could put in your complete budget into the expenses portion. So I'm asking for 5,000 from VICA, but let's say my project is actually $20,000. I can include another 5,000 in artistic personnel, and I'll get that from a sponsorship. And then I need travel as well. And for travel, I'm hoping to get a grant from the VI lottery. So in all, my project costs $15,000, but I'm asking for 5,000 from VICA. Your anticipated income, how much money do you plan to make, from the project? Okay, your in-kind services, the VICA grants, they must be matched one-to-one, either in-kind or dollar figures. I'm gonna put 5,000 in kind. And we get to the budget breakdown. Since I asked for 5,000 for space rental, each of these tabs are broken down. So there's a personnel tab, a personnel administrative, a personnel artistic, a space rental, travel, marketing, remain operating expenses. So I'm going to go to the space rental tab. And I'm going to break down what I'm asking for. So I'm asking for 5,000 for my rehearsal space. I'm going to put it in there. So when I come to the bottom, it shows you that I'm asking VICA for $5,000. This is where the one-to-one match comes in. So it says total funded by VICA 5,000, total funded by other sources 0. So if this stays at 0, it won't let you continue. So since I asked for 5,000 from VICA, I have to be able to show that I'm getting 5,000 from somewhere else, that VICA is just not the only sponsor of this project. And I mean, it doesn't have to be all 5,000 in space rental. You can put it wherever. Once it adds up, you have one tab for funding by VICA and one tab for funding by other sources. Once they add up to just about the same thing, so it shows an even contribution. Any questions?
No questions for me.
No questions? Okay, I know that was a lot.
No, no, so far it's excellent. Excellent presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can the, okay, I have a question anyway. Can the funding, the alternative funding, include in-kind support? Does it have to be financial support? Can the alternative funding include in-kind support, for example, free labor, free materials, rather than cash, rather than?
There's a section for in-kind. So you can put in your in-kind up here, but it won't calculate it down here. This one has to be the one-to-one cash match.
Okay, the one-to-one cash. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So you see, once I add up funded by VICA, whatever I'm asking for to be funded by VICA, it needs to add up. It needs to add up to my amount request. So I asked VICA for $5,000, and then I have, this could be funded by other sources. This can be any number that you want once it's over $5,000.
Okay. Well, if your project costs you 5,000, would VICA give you the 5,000 total, or would you have to would they give you like 2 and then you get another 2 from somebody, 2.5 from somebody else?
It's a one-to-one match. So whatever you're asking us for, you need to have half in-kind and half in actual cash. And not only, I mean, cash, but donations, sponsorship, stuff like that.
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. Okay, I'm kind of concerned a little bit about the grant, how to actually write the grant this time due to the COVID-19, and that usually with Music in Motion, we are totally working with the children as well as putting them on a stage and in a performance. Has VICA thought about that type of program, how we would make those kind of changes? Are you looking for the same capacity that we have been doing before? Or are we allowed to change our creation and make it different for what's happening today?
Yeah, you're allowed to make those changes. COVID has changed stuff up a bit for us, and you're allowed to make those changes. We can't expect you to have a full audience if that's not what the governor is allowing. So those changes are fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Okay, so we're pretty much done with our budget. It was really simple. 5,000 from VICA, 5 from other sources. Okay, this is the end of the application form. To sign the form, you just hold down on your mouse and you pull. A lot of people get confused about this. It's, just pull the mouse and you sign it that way. Okay, and then you date the application and then you mark it as complete. Okay, so you finish the first task, and then you have 2 more tasks. You have to upload your supporting documents and your W-9 form. And then once again, the information is here as well. What information do you need as your supporting documents? Okay, so since I'm applying for dance as summer intensive, I'm going to include my resume, just things of that nature. Who am I? Stuff like that.
I do have one question.
Go ahead.
As far as once we're finished uploading the actual application, are we able to receive a download PDF version of it once it's completed?
Yeah, once you're done with the application, you can download it once we get to the end.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna attach. You can include videos as well. So if you have a CD and you want to show us your music video, you can include a link to the video. I'm just gonna attach any file to this. And you can attach as much files as you want. I'm just doing one for this. So you mark this as complete. So you're finished with your second task and you have one more task. Upload your W-9 form. So you can download the form here. It comes to your computer. It's down here. You can print it out, write on it. You can print it out, you can write on it, and then you can upload it back to the site. Okay, so I'm going to attach, any file into this. Okay, so now you mark as complete. Okay, so all 3 tasks are finished. So you can hit submit. If you want, you can review the grant one more time. If you're comfortable with it, you can just submit it. Okay, so you can, for the person that asks, you can download the application form here. Okay, so once we get it, we go through the process. You get an email from us that says we received your application. Our board will take a look at it. You should hear back from us in September. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the whole process, but once you, well, let me just go ahead and do it. Okay, give me 1 second. Yes, I'm okay. I'm going to have one of the staff members actually award me so that you can see what the contract looks like, what the final report looks like, stuff like that. So give us 1 second. Okay, so I'm waiting on her to actually award me. So I should get an email pretty soon. And if you're awarded or denied, you'll get a letter either way. Okay, so I was awarded. The board met and they decided to fund my project. So you got an award letter. It would have in your grant number, the award amount, your final report due date. The annual grants are the annual grant. Your final report is due August 1st of the following year. So it would be due August 1st, 2021. It gives you the information. You can click on this link to sign your voucher and your award contract. You can find our logo online, and it tells you what we are looking for in the final report. Okay, so once I come back in here, once I click on the link, my contract and voucher should have showed up here. I'm not sure.
Really think so.
Okay, so usually I'm not sure why it's not showing up on my computer. Let me refresh it. Well, let me show you what they usually look like.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the St. John's School of the Arts. I'm just going to show you what the grant contract looks like. So basically that's initial. It just says that you accept that award. You know, the funds must be used in accordance with the established criteria. If you have any revisions, you have to let the director know. Your schedules, if you have any changes, let the director know as well. The final report within 30 days from completion of the project and no later than August 1st. A final report form must be completed in its entirety. Support acknowledgement, our logo can be found online. So basically any press that you have on your project, this note, it must be included. This project is jointly supported by a grant from the VI Council on the Arts and the National Endowment for the Arts in Washington, D.C., a federal agency. So you sign, you date, and then you have a voucher as well. So you sign a voucher the same way how we did it before. You hold your mouse and you drag it. Okay, so once we get the contract, the voucher, we process the payment on our end. You get the check, you spend the check. Then 2021 comes, you have a final report to do. So we send you an email with the link. This is what the final report looks like. So you just report on how you spent the funds. Okay, so whatever admissions you collected, whatever support you received, any other revenue, your cash match, and these numbers can go up or down. The most important number is the grant amount spent. This number needs to be, you access for $5,000, so we need to see that you spent $5,000. Okay, so you sign that as well, and then you attach your, documentation of completed project, which is pictures that your event took place, canceled checks, flyers, stuff like that, so that we can see that the project happened. We can have it for our records. Okay, and then that would be it for your grant application. If you're applying for the next year, then you're good to go. Any questions? Okay, if there are no questions, that is pretty much it.
I do have one question, I'm sorry.
Okay.
This is Virginia with Clean Sweep Subject Ed. So those of us who are applying through the St. Croix Foundation, do we use their login information, or do we just indicate that we're a program of the foundation?
No, you can use, you can have your login information and just make that note when you're applying. It's gonna ask you for individual or organization, and you can put it there.
Okay.
Okay.
But we would still have to provide you with all of the documentation you mentioned, correct?
Yeah, for the DUNS number, you can put their information, but then you will still put your information, your resume, stuff like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any more questions?
If we need clarification, can we call afterwards? Like additional clarification of having gone through the application process and so on, we need to get something clarified. Can we call the office?
Yeah, you can call us. The St. Thomas number is 774-5984, or St. Croix 773-3075.
Will a transcript of this workshop be sent afterwards to participants, or can this be done?
Can you say it one more time?
Will a transcript of this workshop be sent to participants afterwards?
We can.
I think it's a good idea because although we had the hands-on from you, but just to strengthen what was done today, it would be useful to probably send all the transcript of this workshop, so so it would help us it would remind us, it would reinforce what we've the information we've gotten here.
Yeah, we can. I think it's gonna be a recording live on Facebook, and we try to put it on our YouTube as well.
Okay, great.
Okay, and you can also give us a call. We can just email it to you if it's not, if it doesn't show up live.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. So any more questions? No. If that's it, thank you for coming. If you have any more questions, just give us a call.
Sure.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks again.
Okay. You're
Very useful
welcome.
information.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah.
I'm done.